the big bad wolf, the villain of every story.
Duh.
And this is the crew. Miss Tarantula, Mr. Shark, Mr. Piranha, Mr. Snake.
Everyone copy.
Copy. Copy. Copy. Copy. We're the bad guys.
It's crime time, baby. Shark. We need a distraction.
Do I get to improvise?
Fine, please be subtle.
I'm having a baby! Is there a doctor? Or perhaps several security guards that could leave their post?
Hey everybody, we're here with you this week with another great edition of Adore It or Ignore It, and we have got some good stuff that we're going to share with you. And of course, I have Jessica Crump here. Hey Jessica.
Hi there.
So she has got some great stuff to share with us today. We're going to share a movie and a book like we always do, and then kind of what we're going to be doing for another couple of weeks here. So welcome, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. On Adore It or Ignore It today, we always start out with, let's talk about movies. So what have you got for us today?
Okay, so we watched The Bad Guys, and it is actually streaming now, so you can stream it at home. It's great. I love that option just because I do have a younger one, and he actually really enjoyed this movie in particular, but he's not quite old enough to really understand the point behind it, but my oldest kind of did, and it was a conversation that we had afterwards. So going into it from the trailer, I was like, okay, these are bad guys that are going to turn good. It had a total plot twist, though. So they threw in a guinea pig who was loved by the city. He was being awarded this award for being that outstanding citizen. And he said, I'm going to take these bad guys and I'm going to turn them good. And the chief of police was like, this is their last straw. Like, this is it. So you do that. And, if anyone can do it, it's going to be you. Well, it turns out this little guinea pig was the bad guy all along and had planned this big heist, and he went through with it and he blamed it on the bad guys. So they get thrown in jail. They start fighting with one another because the wolf wants to be good and he's trying to convince, his friends. And then someone comes in as a ninja and breaks them out. Well, it turns out it is a wolf. And it's the governor. And she says, you guys, I know who did this. Help me bring him down, like protect my city. So she used to be a bad guy. And she uses her smart skills as being a wolf for good. So they team together. They take the guinea pig down. The bad guys get to be the good guys. And at the end, it just kind of really teaches our kids, like the people that we think are good are, they're good guys or they're our friends or they're trying to help us may not always have the best intentions.
Yes, that's true. Okay, well, that's good. That's a good moral then.
It's a good moral, and it's a really light way for kids to kind of say, oh, we thought he was good, but he wasn't good. So it was really, I was like, Cooper, did you catch on to that? Like, did you see how, and he was like, yeah, he tricked him. And I was like, yeah, that even happens to mommy, like adults are that way. So you have to kind of always have that in your mind. Like, is this the best for me? Like, are these people really have my best intentions? Because growing up, like you have to be able to recognize, the signs of that. So I like that this movie really made it lighthearted, but really kind of put that in their mind of like, oh, this really could happen.
That's exactly right. Yes. People can set you up all the time, and especially kids, because they always want what they want, and so they'll get to it, So
and there's
adults. Nice kids are nice, and they'll take advantage of those nice kids.
And there's adults that are even like that. They want what they want, and they don't care who they hurt to get that way. So this was just a really light, good way to show these, our kids that, that does happen. So
yes, and using characters in the forest or with wild animals, it just humanizes them. It puts those traits in there without looking like a mean person. You know what I mean?
Yes. And they use the characters was a shark, a tarantula, a snake, a wolf, a frog. It's all things that people are scared of. So basically these guys were saying, we're bad because our whole life people saw us that way. And it's kind of like if you are a younger sibling and your older sibling was, a bad kid, you're automatically kind of lumped into, You know, bad
There's also a
apples.
snake in there too, and everybody hates snakes.
Yes, and nobody. Yes, the snake. I do not like snakes. So
I don't even like cartoon snakes. Okay?
no, me either. I don't. Yeah, I just they're. Whew. So
Yeah.
they did a really good job of characterizing, like, okay, well, this is why they're bad because they never really had a chance. Because anytime you see a spider or a snake, I don't personally care if it's a good snake or a bad snake. It's a snake. So it was just a really cool way of giving those characters, why they were bad and how they turned good. So.
Yeah, and that's why people kind of use those names too, and kind of give nicknames to people with that guy's a snake. That guy's just a wolf, man.
A
just
wolf in
gross.
sheep's
Sheep's
clothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, you hear that all the time.
It was actually a really great transition for the story to be good, message for the kids. And what about the action? All good?
All good yes, all good. It was all in all, I adored it. It was a great film.
Okay, good. So adore.
Thumbs up.
All right. So that's great. So Bad Guys, stream, worth your money. You don't have to worry about anything. If you can leave the room, the kids are okay with the content.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's the number one thing with those kind of movies. So you're good with it. Okay, perfect. So is he going to want to watch it again?
We bought it. So I rented it on stream, and then we ended up watching it, wanting to watch it again. And it was past, you only have like a certain amount of time. So I just went and bought it because I feel like it's one of those ones that they will want to watch again.
Okay, yeah. So they can just kind of take their nap or whatever and watch that. And
It's definitely something that I would be okay with. Like if I needed to go do some laundry, like they could sit, and if it's a rainy day or whatever, we're not outside, like you could totally watch this movie and I feel totally good.
You don't have to worry about. Okay, that's a great relief. So that's a big adore on that.
For sure, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, all right. Now we're going to talk about our book. And last week we talked about Ridiculous Nicholas. And of course, this is a book that I wrote, and it's just a fun, lighthearted book, just a little adventure in a kid's day, basically, or his little span of life there, and how he approaches life, and then how he understands that sometimes those approaches aren't always the most favorable.
Absolutely.
So anyway, tell me what you read it, and it has pictures in it to help you.
It does.
Fuzzy, fun pictures, but it's pictures, to help.
No, it's pictures. It was enough that Carter. So we said, and I read it with Carter alone. By just me and him, and he'll be 3 this month. And he loved the pictures. We picked out bikes, and we've talked about colors, and so there was a lot in here that we could do. Even the little blonde mom, he said he loved that. Mommy, he was like, Mommy, with her little blonde hair.
Yeah.
So he liked that. But all in all, this book was a really great for my oldest one, who is 7 now, because it is 100% what he's going through in life, with trying to be the cool kid, trying to be the funny kid, sometimes saying things that I'm like, Cooper, like, why? And he's like, oh, I'm funny. And I'm like, it's not funny. Like, that's silly.
Yeah.
Or just saying things out of character just because other kids laugh at him, because either they're laughing with him or they're laughing at him. We're not really sure at this point, but he thinks that he's funny. So this was a really great book to kind of show him, like, sometimes those comments aren't necessary.
Yeah.
And that at the end, he got more praise because he did the right thing versus trying to be silly. So really great for elementary school kids, I think.
Right.
Even middle school kids, because sometimes 6th graders are a little ridiculous too.
Yeah.
So
and it's still really elementary is 6th grade. I mean, you're coming from 5th grade, which I totally put that in elementary category.
it is. Mhm.
6th grade is still, I mean, you're only talking 12 months difference.
Yeah. I think I think it's great for all those age groups. So
Well, good. Well, and on the part of it, even with the little beanie and everything, he's just trying to be like, he's kind of that little character, but he's got it's just, even if you just go to the visuals, you just kind of keep those in your mind. That's why we made them so big. Just like the bird bath. Okay.
Yes.
Just an example. So he's just being ridiculous, saying, why are you taking a bath when nobody's telling you to take a bath?
yeah, well, and this one I love because I can see my kids saying this, like, why is no one eating these? Oh, because they're terrible. Like,
Yeah, and they say it, and kids are
they
truthful.
do that. I'm like, that